Good morning, everybody. Welcome to my virtual English class. Today is May 1st. I hope you're all having a good day. I hope you're all feeling very well and that you are all enjoying your time and that you're going to have a fun time in today's class, I promise you. Our topic for today is very interesting and it'll keep you guys engaged. Today we're going to be discussing a little bit of imagery and on the topic of onomatopoeias. But before we even get into that, I want somebody who can read today's reflection. I'm gonna pick you, Johnny. And that's right. The reflection goes like that. Do not spoil what you have by desiring the things you have not. Remember that the things you now have were among the things you had only hoped for before. Basically, that means just value the things you have. Sometimes we tend to just forget and move on, when in reality we should value the things we have because they're all very fragile, to be a little bit specific. So, today we're going to be discussing on our objectives, imagery and onomatopoeia, as I said, a little bit on the five senses. We're going to conduct some small work on onomatopoeia, and we're going to read some small poems. First, we're going to discuss our first concept, which is imagery. And on that note, I would like Johnny to read the concept of imagery. Up to you, Johnny. Okay. Exactly. Just like Johnny said, imagery is a type of speech or writing that will kind of like go into your senses. It'll make you think about specific things or feelings, like smells. If I discuss like a nice chocolate brownie, you'll rapidly think about one specific thing. Or if I tell you about a specific color, you're going to think about it, and you're going to think about it because you've seen it. Or I discuss a specific sound, or so on and so forth. And imagery is supposed to be the kind of speech and words that access that specific way of thinking and discussing. Now, I'm going to read a few examples of imagery, and you guys are going to react to them. First one says, Tommy described the flavor of the pizza as incredible. What type of imagery are we seeing here? If Tommy is describing the flavor of pizza, what is he doing? Is he looking at the pizza and he knows why the pizza is incredible? Is he feeling the pizza and that's why he knows it's incredible? It's the flavor, right? And when we discuss flavor, an example would be like these chocolate chip cookies, right? We taste them and that's how we know the flavor. That's the sense for that. Another example would be this soft plushie, right? When you touch it, your specific touch, you're going to notice something specific. It's soft and you're going to think about a specific thing and so on and so forth. Or another example would be this flashlight, right? It's visual. It's on your eyesight. Therefore, the type of imagery is visual. It's eyes. Some more examples that we can discuss are how she loved to listen to the tune of her favorite band. If she is listening to the tune of her favorite band, what is she doing then, Samantha? Right, she's using her sense of hearing, right? Now, give me an example for the sense of smell. Perfect, I love that one. The smell of a nice mofongo plate, right? That rapidly makes you think about many things, and you're probably getting very hungry right about now when you're thinking about it, right? I know I am. And one last example I want to discuss with you is this one, and it goes like this. Walter would go on to take many pictures of the sights he saw that day. Now, Ricky, what type of sense do you think our friend Walter is accessing or using then if he is going on a trip to take pictures of the sights? Is he smelling what he is doing? Probably, right? He's probably smelling. But is that giving him the images so he can actually take pictures? No, right? Right, he uses his eyes, his sight. Exactly. The sense that we discuss here and the imagery here is sight. So, continuing on, we are going to discuss some concepts and an example of a type of onomatopoeia, right? An onomatopoeia, all it does is give words to sounds, basically words that imitate sounds. An example here is the story After Apple Picking by Robert Frost. I'm gonna read it for you so you guys listen to me, okay? Perfect. It says, I feel the ladder sway as the booths bend, and I keep hearing from the cellar bin the rumbling sound of load on load of apples coming in. What type of imagery are we maybe discussing here, Ricky? No, it's not sight. Think again. Let me read to you a specific sentence and then think about it. The rumbling sound. Rumbling. See, that's the type of word that is in onomatopoeia. It's giving a word to a type of sound. Rumbling. When something's falling down the ground, it goes tung tung tung, it tumbles, right? That's what we call a rumbling sound. And that's why the story is called After Apple Picking, because it's discussing and it's describing the apples and what happens when they fell. It's the specific rumbling sound, right? So that's a concept of onomatopoeia. It's a formation of a word used to imitate the natural sound of something. They represent sound. Some examples could be when I throw my food on the barbecue and it starts sizzling. The word sizzling is an onomatopoeia, right? It's describing the what happens when the food touches the warm surface, and the effect of the warm surface starts cooking the specific meat, for example. And that sound goes sizzling, right? And that's how we describe it in the word. Another example would be this one, right? Bobby threw his books down with a thud, right? It's discussing the impact sound. We're using that as an example to give you a clear image of what just happened there, right? Okay, we're gonna try one short exercise that we're gonna do so we could then do our small and short work that'll complete our class for today. A small activity. I'm gonna read to you one short story and you're gonna tell me where the onomatopoeias are. This one goes with the name Kaboom by Denise Rogers. That's right. There's one right there. Kaboom is an onomatopoeia. Good job, Kelvin. So it goes like this. Kaboom, kablast. Way in the past, the miners mined for ore. They searched for copper, iron, and salt. For that and much, much more. Kaboom, the bite of dynamite cut deep inside the earth. The charge explodes, revealing loads of minerals worth. Sorry about that. Kaboom! The dust, the air so mused, went swirling through the sky. It was a sight, the dynamite that made the mountains fly. Last verse. Kaboom! The earth was filled with mirth, so tickled with the boom. The miner's pleasure of each newfound treasure that followed each kaboom. And if you guys notice, this is also a poem. That's where the poem came in, right? That's where the poetry is a part of onomatopoeia and also part of imagery. They're all kind of linked together. That's why I chose to give you this specific combination of topics for today, right? For example, let's give this to little Ricky, and Ricky's gonna tell me what he thinks about this. This is a little bit of a plush, right? It's soft, right? Now give it back to me. Thank you, Ricky. Now I'm gonna give you something else, Ricky, that you can try. Try this one on. Right, it's got a different surface, it's harder. Now let's give you a different type of imagery, a different sense. If I flash you with this light, right, it's sight. And if I were to give you this candy, that would be taste. But if I tell you smell the candy, that's a different sense, right? Perfect, perfect. Okay, what we're going to do for the small activity is we're going to read 2 sentences. And you guys are going to explain what made the noise. It's going to be specific animals or people. So, give me an example. Let's go. Not an example. We're going to do the work now. First one is, and listen very carefully, I'm going to repeat it twice. The dim-witted pigeon repulsed us with its nerve-crawling coo. One more time. The dim-witted pigeon repulsed us with its nerve-crawling coo. What is making the noise, and where is our onomatopoeic sound? Kevin. Pigeon is producing the sound. Yes, perfect. And what's the sound, Kevin? It's the coo, right? It goes coo, and that's how you know. Okay. Next one, and I want you guys to really think about it so we can confirm that you guys got today's lesson very well. Okay. Mark tried sneaking in the house, but the squeak of his shoes woke up Mom. Okay, Carlitos. Yes, yes. It was Mark and his shoes, right? And what is the onomatopoeic sound here? Squeak, right? It goes squeak. It's imitating the sound of the material going back and making that specific sound. Okay. Perfect, class. Perfect. Okay. Okay, write it all down. Good job, good job. Now, put your notebooks back, your pens, and look over here in the board. What you're gonna see in the board is a small review of what we did today. So firstly, we're going to be reviewing the fact that we discussed the terms imagery, right? And imagery is what? It's a type of writing or speech that assesses the senses. What about onomatopoeia? What, Kevin? Exactly. It imitates sounds like coo, imitating a pigeon. Perfect. Then we did some examples, right? We discussed examples on both terms. We read a few poems, and we discussed why they're also onomatopoeia, imagery, and poetry. And then we did a short activity and a small type of activity and work. I hope you all enjoyed today's class. I hope you learned a lot, and I'll be seeing you tomorrow. Remember to pick up all your materials. Remember to help Carlitos come out because he has his wheelchair, and give him this. Okay? Class, I'll see you tomorrow and have a very good day. Take care and rest up, honestly. Eat up some good food. Okay? Bye-bye.